Welcome, ghouls and gals, to our very special Halloween episode of Turn of the Millennials. I'm Lindy.
I'm Stephanie.
And today we're discussing Halloween. Everyone's favorite time of year. Well, almost everyone.
Spooky time of year.
Yeah. Candy and costumes and movies. Fall.
Oh my.
Fall.
Yeah. And of course, because we're millennials, that PSL pumpkin spice, you know, it's that time of year it comes in. And in Canada,
I have not fallen into the pumpkin spice trap just yet.
Only pumpkin scones at Starbucks were the only thing for me. That was the only thing I got into.
I've had like the pumpkin spice donuts and Timbits and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have never tried a pumpkin spice latte or like pumpkin spice, whatever other specialty drinks that those coffee places offer, because I don't actually visit them because I make coffee at home.
and you don't have a Starbucks in Wingham, so you can't really visit them.
I do not. And you know what? I'm good with that.
Right? That's okay. You have a Timmy's. That's all that matters. You have the essentials for Canadians.
And I can honestly say I don't remember the last time I actually went to Timmy's for coffee. Maybe breakfast sandwiches, but not coffee.
I can see that, because when you also worked there for so long, you're like, I'm over going to that thing ever again. I totally understand. That was like me.
Too much.
Right? And that was like me with McDonald's, because I worked there in high school.
It's become a responsible adult. Like McDonald's.
Right? That was like me. I was at a McDonald's. I worked there in high school and it was like fun. We had a great time. It was red. It was bright. And now it's like, we say brown and that grayish.
It grew up into a responsible, bitter adult.
Depressed adult. And
come on, McDonald's, bring back the fun.
Right? Speaking of clowns, I was never actually scared of clowns on Halloween. I know a lot of people are terrified of clowns for Halloween. And we just mentioned it, guys. We're sorry, but clowns. And Halloween. So I think first off, we're just going to go and talk about the Halloween Disney movies, because Disney had, for the movies of the week or movies of the month or whatever, they had the market basically. They had like the Twitches, the Halloween Towns.
It's kind of like Hallmark has Christmas.
Yes, Disney
has Halloween.
In the 2000s, let's be real, the late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
They still come out with them, but I didn't find as many on Disney Plus when I was doing some research about the newer ones. There's a couple.
I saw like, you know, the old school ones that we watched, like Twitches and Halloween Town and like those ones, but nothing really new. Like I know like the newest one probably would be Adam Sandler's Hubie Halloween on Netflix. I have yet to check that out.
There was
I'll watch that before our next one.
Yeah, there was a zombie, I think it was Zombie High or something, and they had two of those.
Do you know what? That's been on my list. I haven't watched it.
I saw those. So those are the only two new ones. Oh, and I think I don't know if they've released any new ones since Halloween season, but I think those are the only two new ones.
I put Zombie High on my list because I really enjoyed Descendants.
I never saw Descendants, and a lot of people have said it's good.
And Cameron Boyce's performance is just makes you love him so much more and miss him just that much more.
Yeah, I haven't. It's been on my list, and I've been thinking about seeing, because it's about the kids of the villains,
kids
right?
of the villains. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have a wicked opening song called "Rotten to the Core." It's fantastic. It's on my playlist.
Of course. So yeah, and on the other one,
I want to dress up like them for Halloween because their outfits are awesome.
I know what this year I'm being Brittany Murphy from Drop Dead Gorgeous, and as we mentioned in our previous episode, because I still have my silver grade 11 dress. I was like, that works perfect for it, so I'm gonna do Brittany Murphy.
I haven't figured it out yet. Like, since my hair is almost black to blonde with like pink tinge, I think I might just throw it in pigtails and throw on my Sailor Moon costume.
Nice.
If I still fit in it, I don't know.
I think you might be okay.
It's been a while since
well, you still got 20 days. Just, do a little extra yoga.
I'm doing my DDP, but I think I'm building muscle, but my fat's not going anywhere because I haven't changed my eating habits.
That's true. That's
bag of cookies in one sitting. Fuck.
That could be a culprit. Yes, not gonna lie, but
totally is.
They're so delicious.
My willpower works against me,
and they're so delicious. I don't blame you.
But I haven't had a smoke in 6 months.
So you have willpower for certain things, but not delicious treats. I get it.
Chocolate.
I get it. Right there with you with that chocolate. And trick or treating was the best time of year because you got all the free chocolate. But let's be real, it never lasted longer than like a month.
it's so great as a parent because you don't actually have to go out to get it. Your kids bring it home.
Right. And that's why our chocolate like stashes seem to dwindle so fast back in the day, because you're like, I swear I had more. And then you realize it was
did
your
you ever
parents.
have to hide it from Danielle or your parents?
Not Danielle. Danielle was pretty good, but mom I did, because mom was definitely a sugar person.
Always hid mine in the same spot, and as far as I know, nobody ever found it. It was because my closet was always fucking just filled with shit. Like it was always dirty. It was never organized. There was tons of crap on the bottom on the ground.
This wide, wasn't it? Like it wasn't a big one.
It was like the size of a door frame and about just as deep.
Because it had the curtain that you pulls and they fold together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was my room downstairs.
Oh.
That was slightly bigger than the one I grew up with upstairs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But anyways, I would like literally just pull out everything from the bottom of my closet, no matter how gross it was, and just threw my pillowcase of Halloween candy under there, and then threw everything back on. And nobody wanted to go to my closet, so my Halloween candy was safe.
So clearly it wasn't that gross if every year you kept moving it. So it wasn't that disgusting. It was just only moderately disgusting.
Yeah. There wasn't like, I didn't have like
food or nothing.
Or like ants or mice or anything in my closet or anything like that.
It was just junk.
It was just like filled with like cobwebs and spiders and shit. And at that time I really wasn't like afraid or whatever about spiders and stuff like I am now. Oh my God. But back then I really didn't care for it because I lived with spiders all the time.
Yeah.
Still do. Yeah. It's Halloween. I guess I have to let them live.
Right. It's their time of year. You gotta let them. And they catch like the mosquitoes in the summer and stuff. So they do their part. The spiders have their purpose.
Go ahead. I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Oh, I was just talking about spiders. It's fine. Okay, so of the Disney Channel movies of the week or whatever they were. Oh, original movies. That's what it was. Disney Channel original movies.
So not including Hocus Pocus.
Not including Hocus Pocus.
So are we doing like literally like TV movies or no movies released in theaters? Like what are we talking here?
For now, we'll do these Disney, like the movie of the original movies.
Okay.
The Disney Channel original movies, as they call them.
Okay.
DComs. Have you been watching Christy Carlson Romano's YouTube?
No.
I suggest you do it. It's quite interesting. She's doing like a video vlog of her like time with Disney and stuff like that. So she talks about them. They're DComs, which is the Disney Channel original movies. And she talks about like her relationships with Shia LaBeouf, her relationship with Disney Channel. It's actually really interesting. You should check her out.
Maybe I'll check that out.
I think it's worth it. But he did the voice of Ron Stoppable and Kim Possible. I never really
watched Kim Possible.
Oh, she brings him in and they do like a cooking segment and stuff together because they haven't seen each other in years. It's a pretty good channel. Anyways,
like, I know it doesn't make a huge difference now that we're grown-ups, but like back when we were teenagers, me being 2 years older than you was kind of a huge difference when it came to TV shows that we watched.
But my sister was also the same age as you, so I kind of still already had some of that influence. And there was, let's be real, when I turned like 18,
I mean, you'd be watching some shows that I would deem too young for me to watch.
But then there was times when we were like 18 that you were still watching like Disney Channel, and I was like, Lindy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I still do. I just watched Xenon, like the 3 Xenons, like a couple of months ago.
But now at our age, it's acceptable because we have.
And Smart House.
For you, we have children, so you can just pretend. That
I only have mine like every other weekend, and they are so not interested in.
Air quotations. That's what I'm saying. For all millennials in general, it's okay to rewatch them because we have children.
So yeah, I was watching Descendants. When I was watching Descendants quite a few weeks ago, it was my day off, and Aaron came home and he came in. He's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "The Descendants," and I explained what it was, and he goes, "That's creepy." I'm like, "What do you mean that's creepy?" He goes, "That's creepy. Like you're almost 40. Like why are you watching a kids movie?" I'm like, it's the same as like watching like The Lion King or like Snow White or fucking like Beauty and the Beast or something. Like I'm watching a kids movie.
You know what? Who says about growing up is a whole lie. Yeah. You know what?
I was like, you'd still watch Transformer cartoons,
right?
Like
it's all a lie they fed us to get to, to break us down.
You never have to let go of your childhood.
Never.
You need to act grown up and behave and be responsible for yourself and others and whatever. But you do not have to sacrifice the things you loved in your childhood.
Camp Nowhere says it best, and I'm stupid too.
Yeah.
Stupid enough to smart enough to act stupid. Or old enough to act young, but you know when to be an adult. Like there's no problem with letting your inner child come out. Sometimes the inner child needs healing. Let it out. Watch those movies.
During
Go ahead.
Halloween.
right?
Especially during Halloween.
Because you can dress up as whatever you want. And even if it was that, you know, silly Sailor Moon that you never got to dress up with, do her now all you want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what
'Cause
Halloween's all about.
I remember quite a few Halloweens growing up, and the earliest one I can remember, I was probably about, I'm gonna say 4 or 5,
Mhm.
and I was a Cabbage Patch doll, and I had this plastic. Well, I think I showed you pictures of it. The plastic dress. It was pink, and it had like the Cabbage Patch logo and like
Yep.
cabbage around the sleeves and whatever. It was plastic, and then I had my hair in pigtails, and then I had this giant plastic mask that I couldn't see out of.
And these costumes were very common in the 80s, people. Very
Yes,
common. Plastic.
masks everywhere.
Your whole entire, so if you wanted to be Barbie, they would paint the Barbie costume on this plastic sack that you would put on, and then they'd get this plastic Barbie face with like slits for eyes and a slit
Yep.
for a mouth, so you could barely breathe. So every time you walked away from
Yep.
somewhere, you had to put it up on your head so you could, yeah.
I remember complaining a lot about the mask. We were like 3 doors away from my house. Like we just started trick or treating. I'm bitching and complaining.
Of course.
And so my mom was like, "Fine, let's go." We went back to the house, and she quickly painted like big noticeable freckles, and then like dimples or something on me. And then we like ran and caught up with my dad and my sisters. But yeah, because the masks were really difficult. Difficult to deal with.
And I mean, the sack part I can get because it does say Cabbage Patch on it. That's the part that's usually identifies what you are. But yeah. You don't need that mask part. They were the worst.
And she made my cheeks rosy too. I remember that, yeah, because I can see the picture in my head. I know I have it somewhere around here, but
my first vivid one is definitely when I made when Power Rangers came out, and I made my own Power Rangers costume. I had this really? I did. I had this dance unitard that I loved all the time. I wore it all the time. It was like silky, or not silky, but it was like a unitard, so it was pink, and it was the long one, so it had the short straps up here and went all the way to my ankles. Yeah, but it wasn't armed. It was just a t-shirt, obviously the tank top, but all the way to the legs. So when I was a kid, I would always wear that with like this knit sweater I had over top. So like they were big leggings as pants and this big oversized knit sweater. So I used those leggings as
you mean that was the style back then too?
Totally was. We're talking like 92, 93 when Power Rangers came out. And they hadn't come out with costumes because it just came out that, you know, July, August, or September.
They didn't have time to capitalize on the merchandise.
They didn't have time to capitalize. They didn't know if it'd be good enough. So of course I couldn't find anything. And I really, really wanted to be the pink Power Ranger. So I used these pink unitards. And then I think I found a pink long sleeve, and I cut up, I can't remember if it was a sheet or a pillowcase or something to make the diamonds. They were so out of shape. Like it was like,
but you know what? Like, okay, if I saw little Stephanie come to my door dressed like that, and obviously you made it yourself, I would give you extra candy.
I used my bicycle helmet. I put lined paper over top of it, and I took a pink highlighter and I colored the whole damn thing. And then that was the year it snowed.
Oh.
So I was so upset that I did all this work, and you basically had to almost wear your snowsuit that year. And I was so upset. It was hilarious.
That's funny. Like you're like cry laughing right now.
I know. It was so funny. It was so because I'm like, I've thought about this, but I haven't like thought about some of the stuff. And I'm like, oh, I actually used a highlighter to color that thing. Like how silly was I? Oh my God.
That's silly. You were innovative and creative, and you were driven and ambitious. Right?
Oh, I love it.
And I would have given you extra candy.
Right? Totally. It was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other like you made that costume yourself. Like,
I know. I was always ahead of the curve. I'll admit it.
I remember the one year I went trick-or-treating with Catherine in high school, and I dressed up as Shirley Temple.
Yep.
So I had my hair in ringlets like her, like it was short bob, and it was all in ringlets, and hair sprayed to shit. Do you think it didn't rain that day?
Of course.
It fucking rained. And by the time that we got to like maybe a block and a half away, like my ringlets were like down here and like past my shoulders. And I was, and Catherine was mad too because she spent all that time curling my hair because we didn't have like the baby list yet. Like we didn't have the one that sucked it up and curled it for you. You had to do that shit individually. And we didn't even have it was one of the small spiral
Yeah, we didn't
curling
even
iron.
have these high temp volume like curling wands and stuff like that.
Nope.
We had these shitty curling wands that got barely warm, that you had a clamp that opened up, that you put your hair in and you rolled
Yeah,
it
you
up.
rolled it up.
And you had to sit there for like 30 seconds on each curl almost because it was no
You
heat.
had to endure getting burned in the forehead when your mother curled your bangs for church.
Right? There was
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
These curling irons suck.
I had like a permanent burn mark like right here in my forehead because my mom just, oh, whoops, sorry. So it's until she got the idea of putting a comb there.
Or a hand eventually,
well, because it would have burned her hand, right? So like she'd put a comb there. Eventually she figured out how to stop burning her forehead. But
better burning her hand than your kid's forehead. Like, come on, you're the
true.
adult.
Absolutely. No blame there. But yeah, she put a comb there instead.
It was the 80s. It was a different time. I get it.
Totally do. You hurt your kids totally by accident. It's fine.
It's fine. We torture, we bully. It's fine. It's good.
We survived and we're fully well-developed adults.
That's what I said. 80s were a different time. We're not, I don't know if we're fully developed. I don't know if we're quite normal but we've all gone to therapy. So we're sorting through our traumas. That's what matters. Well, as a generation.
Normal is overrated.
It's true.
As I tell my wonderfully weird stepdaughter, normal is overrated. And she took that and fucking flew with it.
Yeah, so the Disney original channel movies. We had, so like we said, we had Twitches. We had there was 2 of those. We had like what, Twitch 4 Halloween Towns. We had.
Have you watched the 4th one yet, Steph?
I still have not done it yet. I still haven't brought myself to. I have 20 days.
Do it.
I've got all day today.
Well, 3 weeks, maybe, I guess.
We also had what? Mom's Date with a Vampire, the Scream Team, the Phantom of the Megaplex, Don't Look Under the Bed.
I remember Phantom of the Megaplex has Emily Osment in it, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that one was great. I watched that one every year.
Mom's Date with a Vampire had Caroline Rhea in it.
I think I watched that once. I don't think I watched it again though.
Okay. Phantom of the Megaplex obviously was in a theater. Can't remember if I've seen that one. I didn't quite get to that one yet, but I was working on it. And then, the other one, I found it on YouTube. It's in pieces, but the ABC movie, HE Double Hockey Sticks.
Oh, you found it?
I found it on YouTube.
Nice.
Like I said, it's in multiple segments.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, oh, this is so good.
I watched a few things like that.
So yeah, even more in our Halloween movie is obviously the biggest classic coming from Disney was Hocus Pocus.
Absolutely. And I'm so stoked for the next one.
Every year, 93, I believe it came out in theaters. Yep. So since
I remember the day I saw that. I remember the day.
Almost 30 years old. 2 more years away. Oh my God, that's
I just turned 10. It was in like July 10th or something that we went.
Yeah.
And we had my cousins, Chrissy, Martin, and Robbie, for 3 weeks because their parents had my sister Erin for 3 weeks in England with them and their daughter Shannon.
Okay.
And so like we just kind of made the trade. So my mom and dad took all of us to the movie, me, Kyla, and the other 3. And we went to see it. It was because it was released in the summer. It was released in July because something was coming out that October that they didn't want to compete with.
Well, and not only that, you have to remember that back then there wasn't as many movies being released, so they spent a lot more time in the box office, so they got released further away. Nowadays, a movie can go in and out of the box office in a month. That was not the case back in the 90s. Yeah. You had maybe 20 movies that would come out probably throughout the whole year from different studios, because they also took a long time to make and produce and edit and stuff like that, because it's old school editing. So they probably released it in like July to go into the fall season.
Yeah, so like we went to see it at Capitol.
Oh my gosh, downtown. Theater,
downtown. And it just so happened that summer was when they started, or that year was when they started construction on Kitchener City Hall. And who was the foreman of the construction? My mom's Uncle Vern.
That's
so
funny.
We got to take a little tour of the beginning of the build of Kitchener City Hall, which was really fucking cool.
That's crazy.
But I totally remember that was 30 fucking years ago. Like,
we're old.
Wow.
We're really old. I know.
I told Aaron I'm gonna have like a really bad midlife crisis when I turn 40, so he better be prepared for it.
Right? You better be preparing you something like a trip away or something. Like you best be stashing away and doing something.
I don't know, like just
get me Botox
in a cabin somewhere. So I was like, I'm gonna come home with Botox, a boob job, a Corvette, and a Chihuahua. Like,
Right. Or
this is what's gonna happen.
right. Just save up some money and then throw me somewhere for like, it's
Oh,
fine.
just include me in a cabin somewhere by myself for a while.
Right.
Let me ride it out.
Don't give me social media either.
Yeah, don't encourage or enable my behavior.
Right. Just take my cell phone, take my internet, and just let me sit there and
Cold turkey, baby.
wallow in my 40ness. Oh no, but you've only got what, 2 years? 2 years left?
Shut
Under.
up. Shut up.
I know. I'm sort of okay with 40, but it's also like, oh my god, I'm 40.
The closer it gets,
40.
the more anxiety I have about it.
Well, the funny thing is when I got my passport, it was a 10-year passport. Yep. I was 30. I'm now closer to it expiring than I was to it being new, and that just feels like a really weird feeling.
We're closer to 2050 than we are 1990.
And we're gonna save this all for another episode. Our feeling oldness, for sure.
The episode will be called "I'm Old," and it'll be a picture of Jamie Lee Curtis from Freaky Friday.
Yes. Do you also remember the old cartoon that Disney had? It was the Ichabod, the original like Sleepy Hollow Ichabod
I remember
Crane.
it. I never watched it.
Yeah,
I never watched it
because there was the weird. I just remember the weird guy who was like not the Ichabod Crane Headless Horseman guy, but the other guy that he was going after or whatever. He was, yeah. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that. Even Sleepy Hollow. I've never.
Ichabod the one that goes after the Headless Horseman?
Okay, so maybe he is that. Maybe he is that guy.
Because that was Johnny Depp's character in Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, Ichabod Crane. Okay, so maybe that is. I haven't seen the other Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp in like probably.
You have seen it, just not in a while.
Probably since it came out.
Yeah. But yeah, like Hocus Pocus. It's the best.
Yeah, which
so
also
good.
Sleepy Hollow. Tim Burton is also a very
very
Halloween. He's also
very
a very
good
Halloweeny director. Like if you want stuff to watch on Halloween, you go to Tim Burton's filmography, and it's
the one
it's gonna fulfill your Halloween.
Did Tim Burton also do the one with Johnny Depp in the Jack the Ripper one?
The
with Heather Graham.
Todd. Sweeney Todd?
No, not Sweeney Todd, but he did do that one. No, it's the one about Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
Where Heather Graham plays a prostitute, and I believe Johnny Depp is in. I'm sure Johnny Depp is in it. I have it. I know I have it. I just don't remember what it's called.
I don't know which one that is.
Just give me 2 seconds, and I will freaking find it for you.
But yeah, he did Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow, Sweeney Todd, and of course
I loved Sweeney Todd.
I did
Sweeney
too.
Todd was great.
Helena Bonham Carter, also like a queen of Halloween movies on top of Johnny Depp and the Tim Burtons. And then also the awesome crossover Nightmare Before Christmas, where you can watch it from, September through to Christmas season because it crosses both genres.
So I'm going to get a world of hate for this, but not a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't really care for the claymation style. I mean, it's a good story and the songs are great and everything, but I don't know. I see why it's a classic. I see why it's legendary. I see why so many people love it.
However, it was more of a cult classic for so long because it didn't really have a big following out the gate. And it's kind of in years found sort of, it was that weird awkward mix that people weren't sure whether this was a Halloween movie, whether this was a Christmas movie. They couldn't figure it out. So for a few years, it kind of was in this
Dark
weird
Shadows
realm.
Be considered a Halloween movie?
I mean, you could put it, he's a kind of vampire.
I think I got 20 minutes into that movie and turned it off.
I saw it in theaters, so I had to watch it all. It wasn't the worst.
I love Johnny Depp, but
Michelle Pfeiffer
just couldn't with that movie. I don't know. I just couldn't. Sorry to the fans of that, but I just could not. From Hell.
I don't think I've seen that
Jack the Ripper, From Hell.
Yeah. I feel like I remember the title, but I don't think I've seen it.
Had Ian Holm in it, Robbie Coltrane. The description: in Victorian era London, a troubled clairvoyant police detective investigates the murders of Jack the Ripper. And Heather Graham plays one of the prostitutes. It's a great movie.
Maybe I'll have to check that one out.
Or Drag Me to Hell. That one's a good one too.
Nah, I wasn't
that one.
No, I wasn't a super horror person, so I didn't. There's a lot I haven't quite gone down the realm. Obviously, in the '90s slasher ones, I loved them. But the newer ones, not as much.
Good one, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. You would probably know it. Oh, Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
We could just go on and list every fucking scary movie and claim it's a Halloween movie.
Right, really.
We really could.
Jeepers Creepers was another one a lot of people used to watch on Halloween. I never.
No. Once
Wasn't that
was
one?
more than enough for me.
Wasn't that one the Canadian made movie, or was that the other one?
I don't
Ginger
know.
Snaps.
I think Ginger Snaps was Canadian.
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
there was like the two movies that kind of came out at the same time, and I couldn't remember. One of them was Canadian.
Ginger Snaps was better. And
course.
whichever werewolf movie was with Christina Ricci was in.
Oh.
Whatever that one was called. Like The Change
Who-
or
I guess she is also another like queen of Halloween movies.
Yes, I would absolutely agree to that. Casper? Fuck, I watch Casper probably like 4 or 5 times a year.
I
Not
mean, when
just
I
at
was a
Halloween.
kid,
I still want to live in Whipstaff Manor. That is my dream house. Like I dove so far down that fucking rabbit hole. Like I found the blueprints and everything to that house.
Wow.
And like the
Wow.
house that is the real house that it's based on,
Yeah.
kind of looks nothing like it.
Oh,
Just
really?
saying. Just look it up. Look at the comparison. Just saying.
She also
My
played
opinion.
the amazing Wednesday Addams for
Cursed. I
both
think
of
it's
the
called
Addams
Cursed.
families.
I think it's
Oh.
called Cursed.
Okay,
The one
I think
that
I
I'm
remember that
talking
one. Wednesday Addams from
Yeah.
both
Oh, fuck
Addams
yeah.
families.
Like that is
She was in
just
Sleepy Hollow, as we
iconic.
mentioned as well.
She was phenomenal in Addams Family as Wednesday. She was awesome in that.
Yeah, just again another queen. And then the other one I saw online was Winona Ryder because she did the Beetlejuices and that, and a couple other
Yep.
creepy movies.
Heathers.
Yep.
Not technically a Halloween movie, but good God.
Still a good
Dark
thriller.
cult classic. What happened to the remake of that? Did that actually happen?
I don't think it did. I think it kept kind of falling apart yet.
I remember seeing on my Facebook memories a few weeks ago that like a couple of years ago, I posted an article about how they were bringing back Heathers as a reboot as a TV show or something. And I remember my comment being like, how the hell did this get greenlit? Like, because there's no way in hell that this movie would have been made today. Like, there's no way because of it's so dark. It would not have been released in theaters.
The controversial Heathers reboot has been canceled before it was even aired.
Yeah. So did they actually film any of it?
Was slated to air back in March 2018, has been officially canceled before even one episode made it to air. So yes, they did film it, but nothing made it to air. So it was a TV series.
That does not surprise me. Oh, she was in Sleepy Hollow too.
10 episodes.
Christina Ricci was in Sleepy Hollow too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so not shocked that did not get made.
And then also, what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost it. Damn it.
We were talking about Christina Ricci.
I know.
And
I love actually, I know the first Addams Family is like the traditional sort of Halloween one, but the second one, usually sequels kind of suck, but I have to admit that second one is kind of funny.
Makes that fucking movie.
Right?
She's hilarious in that.
Or what's his face that when she goes to the camp. No, when she goes to the camp, the dude she meets.
Oh yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You Later.
David.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck. We just watched Sausage Party.
And he's in 10 Things I Hate About You.
David Krumholtz. David Krumholtz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him, because
he's in Life with Mikey with Michael J. Fox.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yes, and he plays the rich,
kid. Yeah, and he's Bernard, Santa Claus.
Yep. Although I find it funny that he played like, because there was such a gap between the first and then when they made the second one, that and then they had to. He was like supposed to be playing this little guy, and he was actually probably like close to 30.
He's the elf that ages. He's the different one. He's the odd one out.
Right.
He's and then the one that wants to be a dentist.
Oh, I love Rudolph. But again, we have a bunch of Christmas episodes because that's my favorite time of year. So we will get to those. Don't you worry, people.
Anyway. So David Krumholtz.
Yes. And then I love where they do the turkey Thanksgiving scene. Speaking of a Thanksgiving today. But
sorry, what are we talking about? What episode? What show? What
Addams Family 2.
Oh, right.
Where they do the turkey thing at the camp or whatever.
Yes. I love what I find hilarious, what I found so funny was when him and Wednesday kiss at the exact same time they both like wipe their mouth.
Oh, little kids.
They wanted to kiss each other, but they're still like young and immature, and they wipe the.
They're like, ew, it's so gross. It's so gross.
COVID.
Yeah. 12. I was way past COVID.
Oh my god! And Harmony, what's her face? No, she played Harmony in Buffy. What is her?
Yes, Summer. No,
I want to say Melody.
Maybe Melody. Something.
I think her name is Melody.
Easy Blondie. Yeah.
Yeah. as what's her face, the blonde Jennifer. Is it Jennifer? No, it's not Jennifer.
Yeah, but she plays the lead
Yeah.
pilgrim girl. Oh,
Yeah,
you're so
Amanda.
good.
Amanda. Help! I'm drowning. Help! I think she's about to drown.
Yep. You're supposed to save her.
I can't swim.
Yeah, like really, a spooky girl like that. Did you honestly think she learned how to swim? Come on, she's
Really
clearly
think
never seen
she's
sunlight.
I was just gonna say, do you really think she's ever stepped a foot in sunlight? Like,
right?
Come on.
How is she gonna learn to swim? Come on, people.
Well, she does a big ass house, so it wouldn't surprise me if they had like a fucking indoor pool or something.
Even an outdoor, what can you call it?
They probably wouldn't use it as that. They probably would have filled it in with dirt and used it as a graveyard.
Right? Yeah. They had lots of graveyards in that property.
Or like the dead rose bush garden.
Right? Like, another statue garden. You know, they had so many statues.
Yeah, that's true. Lots of statues.
Or the mausoleum.
You know what I wanted to do? I want to go to the Adams house and just pull a random chain. See where it takes me.
See where I go. Why not?
See where I go.
I know.
See where I end up. Who knows?
Every time that scene comes on, I'm like, man, that would be so cool. Just find a random place to go.
You get your arm pulled out of your socket. Like, I'll pop back in later.
Right? It's fine. Just dislocated my shoulder a bit. It's fine.
It'll heal. It's fine.
Beetlejuice.
But what
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Sorry. Beetle guys.
Beetle guys.
Beetle drink. Beetle breakfast.
Did you ever watch the cartoon when it was on TV? I loved it.
And I showed the kids because it was on the copy of Beetlejuice that we have. It has like 5 Beetlejuice cartoon episodes on it.
Oh, nice.
So after we showed the kids the movie, we watched like all 5 episodes. And they loved it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Leanne at the cottage was saying she just showed it to the kids as Beetlejuice to the kids for the first time, and they loved it.
I can still hear the theme song inside my head.
It was so good. Even the movie was like Michael Keaton, and watching it now, you're
Gina
like
Davis and
a very young Alec Baldwin. Oh my gosh, and the head shit Moira, Catherine O'Hara in her so younger days back then, like straight out SCTV type time.
Daylight come and me wanna go home. Pizza day.
And then I love when they're like,
the
dance get involved.
Oh, they get the hand up and they go, ah.
It's like everybody at the table gets involved, and then they're like, oh, they were originally trying to scare them, and really they were like, that was so much fun. We want them to come down. If you tried to scare me by making me dance doing like a Deo thing, I probably wouldn't be upset either.
I would be terrified that I don't have control over my own body.
Yes, but at the same time,
what is this? What's going on? What is happening?
But you're playing a fun like Deo. Like I wouldn't be too upset.
That film, I wonder how many takes that scene took.
Right?
Because like if it were me, I would just be laughing the whole fucking time. Like I would not be able to control myself. I'd be in hysterics.
However, she was on SCTV, so she probably was really good at learning
but not
how
just her, but like the other people in that scene.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because the other ones, I don't know if they were anyone else. I know. Oh, that's the best scene. I love it. And then at the end, how they just all live cohesively, and they're like, "Yeah, we love these goats. It's great living with them now." And then she has like the way that they like built the house outside, where she puts that like weird outside gazebo, but not a full wall, like extension of a house with a wall and a window, but there's no walls on the other 2 sides.
I'm like, I feel like that's something that's beyond its time. Like I feel like that's something that we would be seeing like
now.
Today.
Yes.
Now, like that's super modern, especially considering that this movie was
89, so 30 years ago.
89, I think it was.
Yeah,
89, 90, somewhere in there.
It just shows that clearly that style never goes out of style.
Do you have Cricket's sister Sarah on your Facebook?
I do not.
Oh, you don't? So she posted a picture of Halloween at Family Paradise this past summer.
Oh, really?
So they had Halloween in July or Halloween in August or something. Yeah. She posted a picture of someone's site that was like fully decorated, and one of them had an inflatable sandworm from Beetlejuice.
What?
I was like, fuck off. I'm pretty sure they either got it on Etsy or Amazon. But I was like, I saw that and I go, that's awesome.
That's amazing. That's the best. There is one guy in Guelph who I think around Christmas time, I don't know, I think he still did, or he sets his house up for like, he has like a whole Nightmare Before Christmas like outdoor installation, and he'll set up like, I think it sets up in like around Halloween and then goes into the Christmas, and he like gives out like little Jack cupcakes and stuff like that. I don't think they did it as much during COVID, and he plays like the movie on his house and stuff. I'm like, I wish I had that kind of money to do that kind of fun
or
stuff
energy or
outside.
effort or time.
Well, I mean, at Christmas, I still put a lot of energy into my Christmas trees, but I don't have the money for the crazy outdoor stuff. It took me, and the stuff I do have for my Christmas collection has
Attention
taken
listeners,
me a long
did you
time.
happen to notice she said Christmas trees as in plural? Just thought I'd throw that out there.
She's not wrong. Yeah, she's not wrong.
Yeah,
And then so they're not technically like Halloween, but in the 90s, we had like an uptick in like 90s slasher films, I guess they were, which I think that we've now kind of adopted them as like our Halloween classics, I feel, or part of the Halloween classics.
because they usually, much music generally played a variety of these movies throughout October on movie Sunday or Saturday, whichever day it was. I don't remember.
Yeah. So we had the I Know What You Did Last Summers.
I have that on VHS.
What are you waiting for?
What do you want from us? Look at my boobs in the rain.
Actually, I have to bring this up because me and Danielle, the MTV Movie Awards, you remember they used to do cut scenes in between them all the time of like making fun of the movies.
Oh yeah, that was like the best part of the awards.
So this year, I remember in one of the years, their cut scenes, like whenever they would go into it, it was making fun of it. So it was Allison Hannigan playing Jennifer Love Hewitt's part, and she was like, "What are you waiting for? My boobs to pop out of my t-shirt?"
No, wasn't that a part of Scary Movie?
No.
Or one of the Scary Movies?
Nope. That particular one was an MTV Movie Awards one, and it was Allison Hannigan doing it because she wasn't in the Scary Movies. It was Anna Faris.
Because I remember in Scary Movie, Shannon Elizabeth was running from the killer like Sarah Michelle Gellar was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, is this the part where like I try to run away? Oh, help me, run away!" And she goes, "Is this the part where I injure myself?" And she goes, and her bone sticks through her leg. She goes, "Oh, I broke my leg. Someone help!" And it's just the funniest fucking scene ever. Because I can't even explain it. It's so funny.
It is so good. She
did that really well.
The Scary Movies, they just did them so well. And that was actually, as much as she's an underrated actress, I love her. Anna Faris's first movie.
Oh yeah.
And she is so underrated as an actress. I think she is great. She's so funny. And these movies were just, although I found it in I think the third one, she went blonde, which is funny because she's actually naturally blonde. So in the first two, when she dyed her hair brown, it looks weird because it's not her natural color.
I don't ever recall her being a brunette. I thought she was blonde in all of them.
Yeah, no, if you go back to the first one, she's a brunette in it because I guess Sydney. It's more based off of Scream.
Yeah,
so she had to be like the Sydney Prescott.
Yeah, so she'd have to
Sydney had the dark hair. Yeah.
You know that the next Scream coming out in January.
Yes, I have heard about that. I have heard about it.
Sydney. I think it's Sydney. I'm gonna say it's Sydney. It's Sydney.
Right? Finally getting it. She just snapped one day and
it's Sydney.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Just bring the whole thing to an end.
Or she finds out who the real killer is and kills the real killer just like the real killer has been killing people, and then she gets pinned for all the other murders.
Here's the thing.
But they twist. Is it M. Night Shyamalan?
Right.
But they twist.
But it is. But there is no real killer because like we understand like each time there's a killer and they always have a different stupid motive.
Yeah, like what would be the motive for the fifth one, considering like the last one it was her cousin.
Wasn't it Emma?
Unless she was like
Emma
in
Roberts?
a mental institution and she freaking like escapes or something. Yeah, it was Emma Roberts. That one was fantastic.
It was.
I enjoyed that one immensely.
I did not watch the TV series though because it just it wasn't for me. I was like, it's not the same story. People
Did you
things.
Try.
I saw the preview.
No interest.
I saw the preview and I was like,
right. Just okay. Just commit to watching the first, I'm gonna say 15 minutes of the first episode.
Okay.
Just commit to like the first opening scene.
Maybe. Okay, we'll see.
Just saying.
Because I don't know.
It's a great fucking show. Like, and you don't need your whole seat, just the edge of it. Just saying. Same with Scream Queens.
Oh, Scream Queens is so good. I never got to finish the third season though, because I think that was when I cut my cable off or something. So I was using the Android boxes. I know I have to go back and watch it. I was using an Android box and it was going all crazy at that time. And I never got to finish the last bit of the season with Taylor Lautner in it.
I watched it. I've watched like all three seasons like a couple of times now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lea Michele is in it and Nick Jonas.
Ariana Grande
is in it and
John Stamos.
Abigail Breslin.
John Stamos was in the last season.
He is. Oliver Hudson, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
Carrie Fisher's daughter, I forget her name.
Oh yes,
Yeah. Oh, obviously Emma Roberts.
Billy something. What's her name?
Billy something Fisher or Billy Fisher something. It's her name's hyphenated, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fucking great show. Great
Right.
fucking show.
And then yeah, so we had both I Know What You Did Last Summers. We had the Scream trilogy at the time. Right? The Scream trilogy at the time, and then eventually they added a fourth one later past our millennial
Fucking, can
years.
we talk about Jamie Kennedy? He like makes the first Scream. He
the two
makes that fucking
and the
movie.
second one because he's
So
in that
great.
one too as well. And he's
I was so mad
thing.
when they killed him off in the second one, but he actually survived.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then doesn't he actually die in the third one?
He does eventually die. Yes, I know he's in the second one.
Either the third or the fourth one, he actually dies.
I'm gonna have to go back. I love the second one. No, it's the third one is when they go to Hollywood. I love that one because of Parker Posey following Courtney Cox around the whole time. She is hilarious.
Bangs. Can we talk about Courtney's bangs though in that one?
I always
how was that ever a trend?
I don't know.
Fuck,
super
what were we
short,
thinking?
like
I'm so glad I never did that. Like there was a one time I let our boss cut my bangs, remember? That one time, but they were not mini bangs. They looked good.
Right. I've only done side swept. I could never do this because Danielle kept doing it and she would, I really want bangs. I really want bangs. She'd do it. And then like 3 days later, she's like, I fucking hate myself.
Yeah.
I hate myself for doing this.
Oh yeah. My stepdaughter did that a little while ago. She cut her bang like really short. They had to wait till it grew down a little bit so she could actually get cut in a bang.
Because Gen Zs didn't learn. They don't want to learn from millennials or the
millennials didn't want to learn from boomers or Gen Xers either. So it's
but
just
let's
the
be
generation.
real. Boomers didn't wear their bangs up to here. And well, I guess we were kind of creating some of the 70s, but again, we didn't wear them up here. If you want to, and some of us did look up to some of them because we're like, hey, we like your styles, so we're still going to do that. And some of them don't. They make fun of us for
the mini bangs are just a variation of like the 80s bangs with the big hair. That's what I'm saying. You get, because you cut your little mini bangs and then you still have like your hair, right?
Guess,
like it's literally just like kind of like an accent. Whereas in the 80s you had a very thin layer of just a normal length bang.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you had like your big hair.
You fluffed up the rest of it behind it.
You fluffed up and teased the rest of it into like this little swoop thing that my hair is kind of doing.
Right.
But yeah, so like it's really just a variation on the bang for that generation.
I guess,
or fringe for you British people out there.
But like they also complain about how like we still do our side parts. I'm sorry, center parts did not work for everyone. That's why we did side parts. We've lived long enough.
They worked for boys.
Right? We've lived
not
long enough
for girls
to understand why these styles do no longer still exist because they did not work well for certain people.
And if they ever took a fashion class with Miss Petland, they would know about the swinging pendulum.
Right.
And they would know that guess what? Center parts were all the rage in the fucking like 70s. Not so much in the 80s. 80s switched to fucking side parts.
And they would know that the 90s was a lot of rehashing of the 70s. Yep. And so now the 2020s are rehashing of the 90s/70s. So
and my hair looks stupid with the center part. So screw all of you Zelders. I don't care.
I agree. Center part looks terrible on
Monopoly.
But yes, that
third like Joey Tribbiani.
Right. That third Scream was definitely hilarious because of the Hollywood aspect of it and all the like chintziness of the people.
Fuck yeah. I hadn't watched that one in a really long time. I just watched the first two like not too long ago.
Yeah, I know. They're hopefully on my list of Halloween movies I've been getting through. The Faculty was another one. Again, it was kind of not really a Halloween, but it was like one of those horror movies, and it's so good. It had such a good like young all-star cast at the time and everything.
My favorite lines from this movie. Oh fuck, I love this movie. I love this movie. It's so good. But my favorite lines from it is when it's fucking Stan and Stokely, where he's like, God, Stan, get a fucking eye dog, and he's like, maybe you didn't paint your fucking eyes shut. Because they run into each other in the hall.
Yeah. And then I love like Zeke.
I fucking love it. It's so good.
Zeke's the pusher with his like pens. He's like, dude, I got you.
Yep.
And then that's what
he's so rude to is it Jordana Bruce? No. Famke Jensen plays the teacher. And she's so squirrely and innocent and like just very like you would never ever be mean to someone like this, right?
Yeah.
And then she becomes an alien and holy fuck, like paws her out. But
confidence.
Like, what he says to her about like the condoms, I felt so embarrassed for her. I was
Right?
Oh my god, that's so rude. And she even says it. She goes, "That's so rude." She walks away.
Yeah, and like you said, so that's Josh Hartnett, Famke Janssen. We had what? Clea Duvall. We had Elijah Wood, Jordana Brewster, Sean Hattasy. Like this was definitely a team.
Whoever
like
played
Usher Raymond. What?
Mary Beth Louise
Parker.
No,
something.
No, her character's name.
Oh,
I'm Mary Beth Louise so and so from
Georgia or so, like some I don't know.
Like
the little blonde girl.
It's like Arkansas or Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Something.
The little blonde girl. Yeah. And then they also with another Josh Hartnett one was the Halloween H2O when we tried to bring back which was H2O because it was
that
20
was good. That one had Michelle Williams in it as well.
Yes. But it was H2O because it was 20 years later, and that was back in like the 90s. So we are now told, at least we are 20 years past that now. So when they do them now, they're close to 40 and 50 years of Halloween movies, guys.
I'm gonna take a look and see when the very first Halloween movie was.
And then because they have redid the franchise since. So they had the Halloween H2O, and then Rob Zombie did his two different Halloween movies, and then now they're redoing it again with Jamie Lee Curtis. I think
so. The very first one, 1978.
Wow.
So it's been almost 42 years since the first one came out.
Yeah.
Good old Michael Myers. Yeah, so it's got, so Halloween in 78, Halloween 2 in 81. Then there was Halloween. No, that can't be right. Maybe I have to search H2O, not Halloween, because it wasn't called Halloween.
It was like Halloween H2O or something. And
20 years later, that was 98.
Oh, God.
That was 1998.
So 2018 would have been
the 20 year.
Another 40 years. So we're at like what, 40?
Remember when Josh Hartnett was like just all the fucking rage?
40 versions.
40.
No, not 40 versions. 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Yeah. With Shannon Sossaman?
Yep, yeah. And then he was all the rage in like the late 90s, 2000s.
Oh, and Vanessa Shaw from Hocus Pocus was in 40 Days and 40 Nights. She was his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, and she was she
was the bitch.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Did you know that the first Michael Myers mask was actually William Shatner mask that they spray painted white?
I did know that.
That's funny.
I did. Yes, I did know that.
and then it's funny because when you go through all the movies, you can see how they changed up the masks and use different masks and stuff, and it's just
you do. You kind of have to like
higher budget,
keep it updated and have a slight change so it doesn't look like. I mean, look at how often they changed the Jason mask.
Yeah, and they had higher budgets too.
They were slight changes, but they were changes nonetheless.
Yeah.
Right.
And apparently in the TV show they changed up Ghostface mask. It's not the white.
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't. It's still Ghostface,
but it's like clear, sort of, but not.
Like the original Ghostface is a bit thinner. I would say
it's like the Scream photo is what the Ghostface is based off of. Is that?
Yeah,
Scream
I would say like Scream movie Ghostface filled out a bit. Is what TV show Scream Ghostface looks like.
I looked at a picture of it because I was looking up some of that stuff. So I saw a picture of it and I was like, it's weird.
But you really should check out that show. It's really good.
So that's the end of part 1 of our 2-part Halloween episodes. Catch us back in 2 weeks where you can hear part 2 of our Halloween discussion and more about my Scream costume. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked it, be sure to check out our previous episodes on our website at www.millennialspod.com. And also you can check them out on Spotify, Anchor, Google, or Apple Podcasts. While you're there, hit the follow and subscribe buttons so you can stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. Also, you can follow us on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Turn of the Millennials Pod, and like us on Facebook to leave a comment and a review. We greatly appreciate it. We will see you next episode.